Imagine handing in your resignation tomorrow with the absolute certainty that you'll never need another paycheck, while the average person is trapped in an endless cycle, convinced they need a multi-million-dollar hoard to escape the rat race. There is a quieter, more efficient path to freedom. What if I told you that $500,000, a fraction of what most experts claim is necessary, is actually your golden ticket to a life of total autonomy? The conventional wisdom is loud, but it's often wrong. Most people will tell you that retiring on $500,000 is a pipe dream, yet there are individuals living more fulfilling lives than many burnt-out millionaires by simply deploying that capital with precision. I'm Ned, and I specialize in stripping away the complexity of finance to reveal the strategies that actually move the needle. If you're ready to stop trading your best years for a retirement that may never come, hit that subscribe button and like this video. We're about to shift your entire financial paradigm. Recent data suggests Americans feel they need upwards of $2 million to find comfort. But wealth isn't about the size of the pile. It's about the volume of choices the pile grants you. If your passive income eclipses your lifestyle costs, the game is over. You've won. Let's look at the cold, hard math. If you take $500,000 and park it in conservative, fixed-income vehicles, think high-yield instruments or bonds, a 5% annual return is a very realistic benchmark. That generates $25,000 a year, or roughly $2,000 every month, without you touching a single cent of your original principal. Your capital becomes a tireless employee, working 24/7 so you don't have to. While $25,000 might seem modest, the true value lies in the recovery of your time. No more soul-crushing commutes or pointless meetings. And for those willing to lean into a diversified portfolio of index funds and equities, the numbers get even more aggressive. An 8.5% historical average return transforms that same $500,000 into $42,500 in annual passive cash flow. That's over $3,500 a month, a figure that doesn't just cover the bills, it buys you a completely different life. We aren't just talking about scraping by. We're talking about a lifestyle that buys back your curiosity. Imagine traveling, leaning into hobbies you've ignored for years, or funding the causes that actually matter to you, all while your principal remains untouched. This is where the strategy shifts from basic survival to total dominance. Most people view retirement as a slow countdown, a process of accumulating a pile of cash and then watching it dwindle until they die. But why play a losing game? By living exclusively off the yield, your wealth becomes immortal. You aren't just independent, you've built a financial engine that will likely outlive you. This is the fundamental divide: the consumer versus the investor. Consumers treat money like fuel. Once it's burned, it's gone. Investors treat money like a forest. They harvest the fruit but never chop down the trees. Here is the truth your financial advisor won't mention because there's no commission in it. The ultimate shortcut to freedom isn't earning more, it's needing less. A person who is content on $3,000 a month is objectively wealthier than a corporate executive who needs $15,000 to sustain a high-stress lifestyle. We have to be brutally honest. Are those luxury car payments and nightly takeout orders actually making you happier? Or are they just the bars of your own cage? Let's look at the math again. If you own your home and keep monthly overhead around $2,500, a $500,000 portfolio returning 8% yields over $3,500 monthly, you aren't just covered, you're actually getting a $1,000 raise every single month for doing absolutely nothing. Whether you're single or supporting a family, the levers remain the same. Optimize your location, eliminate debt, and find joy in things that don't have a price tag. The biggest hurdle is the psychological weight of the number. People see $500,000 and freeze. They see a mountain instead of a staircase. But wealth is built through consistency, not luck. If you invested $2,000 a month, you'd hit that mark in roughly 18 years. That might feel like a lifetime away, but 18 years will pass regardless. The only choice you have is whether you'll spend that time building your own dream or someone else's. Start where you are, even if it's just $500 a month, and let the momentum of compounding do the heavy lifting. This isn't a fantasy reserved for lottery winners or heirs to a fortune. It's a mathematical certainty for anyone willing to prioritize their future self over temporary impulses. You might find it laughable, or perhaps tragic, to realize that the average person spends more on cars over their lifetime than what's required to buy their absolute freedom. Between loans, interest, insurance, and maintenance, the typical driver sinks over $600,000 into transportation over 40 years. They are literally driving away their retirement while claiming they can't afford to save. The same logic applies to our daily habits. Americans routinely drop $3,000 a year on convenience, coffee, takeout, and stuff that provides nothing but a fleeting dopamine hit. If you diverted that same $3,000 into an investment returning 8%, it would balloon to over $800,000 in 3 decades. I'm not suggesting you live a life devoid of joy, but I am suggesting you stop unconsciously trading permanent freedom for temporary snacks. The real magic happens once that $500,000 foundation is set. You are no longer acting from a place of desperation. When you aren't tethered to a paycheck just to keep the lights on, your relationship with risk completely changes. You can finally start that business, return to school, or travel the world while you're still young enough to actually hike the trails. Real wealth isn't about the logos on your clothes. It's the power to say no to things that drain you and yes to a life designed around your values. Now, let's address the elephant in the room: inflation. A smart strategy accounts for rising costs by ensuring you don't spend every cent of your returns. If your portfolio grows by 8% or 9% and you only draw down 6%, that leftover spread allows your principal and your future salary to grow alongside the cost of living. You aren't just treading water, you're building a rising tide. And remember, any future Social Security benefits act as a massive safety net. Even a conservative estimate adds thousands in guaranteed monthly income to your existing passive flow, turning a comfortable life into an extraordinary one. The real divide between the wealthy and the working class isn't just a bank balance, it's a mindset. Building a $500,000 foundation forces you to develop lifestyle immunity. Most people fall victim to lifestyle inflation. The moment their paycheck grows, their expenses explode to match it. They upgrade the car, the apartment, and the wardrobe, effectively running faster on a treadmill that never ends. But when you're chasing independence, every dollar has a specific mission. You aren't depriving yourself. You're simply realizing that a dollar saved today is a permanent employee for your future. This psychological shift is actually more valuable than the cash itself. It means that even if the market hits a rough patch, you possess the discipline to rebuild. You aren't just rich, you're financially intelligent. Let's talk about the fear of market crashes. If you're diversified and sticking to a conservative withdrawal rate of 6% or 7%, you can survive the storms without ever touching your principal. In down years, your balance might dip, but the engine keeps humming. In boom years, you build a massive buffer. Contrast this with the traditional retirement model, where people decumulate, slowly spending down their life savings and praying they die before the money runs out. Living off the yield removes that fear entirely. The hard truth is that most people will never be free, not because they can't earn, but because they've been sold a lie that stuff equals happiness. I've seen executives on $500,000 salaries who are functionally broke, while mechanics and teachers are retiring early because they know the difference between looking rich and being rich. It might sting to hear, but if you can't thrive on $42,000 a year, the issue isn't your income, it's your control. You've let your lifestyle expand into a cage. But unlike the neighbor who bought a boat to impress people he doesn't even like, you can start reclaiming your life today. Every canceled subscription and every meal cooked at home is a down payment on your autonomy. True freedom isn't about the money, it's about the luxury of time. Time to focus on relationships, passions, and a life where no one else owns your schedule. When you have $500,000 working for you, you aren't just dodging a 9-to-5. You are escaping a system that views you as nothing more than a productivity machine. You are reclaiming your most finite resource, your life. I won't sugarcoat it. This path isn't easy. It demands a level of discipline that most people simply can't muster. It means saying no to the status symbols everyone else is chasing and being perfectly fine with being the weird one who drives a decade-old car and lives in a modest house. But while the rest of the world drifts deeper into debt, you're gaining ground. Every month, your money works harder so you can work less. This strategy isn't just about early retirement. It's about the power of choice. If you love your career, you can stay, but you'll be there because you want to be, not because you're a hostage to your mortgage. Work shifts from a desperate struggle for survival to a meaningful pursuit of fulfillment. One path leads to burnout, the other leads to a life of creativity and purpose. The ultimate secret is that building wealth changes who you are. The process of consistent investing breeds patience, and choosing needs over wants clarifies what actually matters. You transition from being a reactive consumer to an intentional architect of your own life. This shift is contagious. When people see the joy that comes from your freedom, they begin to question their own hollow pursuit of stuff. You become living proof that experiences outweigh possessions and that true security doesn't come from a paycheck, but from assets. So stop the excuses. Stop convincing yourself that $500,000 is an impossible summit or that you need millions to be free. Start exactly where you are. Redirect that unused subscription, set up a small automatic transfer, and have that brutally honest conversation with yourself. The math is simple, but the journey is a challenge of character. The reward isn't just a number in an account, it's a life lived entirely on your own terms. $500,000 can buy your freedom. The only question is if you're brave enough to claim it.